I never expected the Kefine Klean to have an update because it was pretty damn good the way it was tuned by itself. In fact, I thought it was very similar to that of the Kefine Delta, which is actually one of my favorite IEMs in a certain price range. But anyway, here we have the Kefine Klean SV provided by none other than the folks at Kefine. So thank you to the folk at Kefine for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own as always. So let's jump into the unboxing and how this is built and a few other goodies that they've sent as well. Kefine has been kind enough to also send me a little USB-C to 3.5mm little DAC amp. I don't think they've mentioned what amp this is, but it does have a very well-known DAC in it. Then they've also sent me a USB-C to 0.78mm. So this has got a little DAC amp in it. Now it does also come with a little remote, so you can play and pause your media and control your music up and down, and it has a little microphone. And they've also sent me another cable, which is a 0.78mm termination at the point of the IEMs, and a 4.4 balanced on the other end, whereas the cable that comes with the specific box that I've received is the 3.5. So I've had a chance to really spend time with all of these different setups to let you know which one is for you, depending on your taste, of course. The cables provided with all of these seem to look very similar. They're all braided. It's pretty good quality. Kefine has not skimped on the overall quality of these for certain. I do have my issues with the sound of the little DAC amp and the USB-C variant, but I'll get to that in the chapter about sound. But otherwise, overall build quality is pretty top notch. They really haven't ever skimped. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is if you are somebody who likes to game, these cables, and by these I mean the 3.5mm and the 4.4, do not come with microphones on them. The only one that has the microphone is the USB-C variant. So if a microphone is important to you, that's the one to go for. If you are leaning more towards pure music enjoyment and music pleasure, you'd want to choose between the 3.5 and 4.4, which also do have their slight variations in terms of sound. But overall quality, when it comes to the cables, they're top notch. Moving on to the IEMs themselves, well, these do have a metal sort of design. The overall feel is cool to the touch because these are metal. And what's really neat about this is that you will not see any sort of glue holding the faceplate to the housing, because you do have this sort of security screw here that tightens both of these together into one another, which is quite neat. And of course, on the faceplate, you will see the Kefine brand name with this nice design on it. It feels and looks pretty premium. The inside of this does appear to have some venting ports over here. And then moving on to the nozzle, this is a section that has a grip on it so that you can sort of untwist and twist it so you can tighten it. This does have swappable nozzle. So this is a silver one. You do get a black one as well as a gold one, which has slightly different tuning, which I will talk about in the chapter about sound. And you also do get a whole bunch of ear tips. You do get 6 sets of ear tips as well, so you can really sort of see which one fits you best and which ones sound you like the most. Comfort wise, I do find these to be quite comfortable. I do suspect that some people might complain about these being a bit heavy, but I think these are just fine because they are quite small, they are quite compact. They sit within my ear and my concha quite snug. I've not really had any discomfort issues after listening to this for quite a while. I will say though, if you are in an AC environment or if it's very cold, when you first put them on, they will feel cold and uncomfortable in the ear, but it will warm up to body temperature quite soon. So that should be no problem at all. Moving on to that USB-C cable that has a microphone. Well, if you do want to know how your voice will carry on over to your recipients, here's a quick demo to show you how this microphone sounds. I'm calling you from the confines of my studio through my phone. So you are hearing everything through my phone's microphones, just to give you a sense of how your phone microphone will carry over your voice. So I am of course wearing the USB-C variant of this with the cable. So it does have this little dongle here with the microphone, the volume up and down button and the play pause button as well. So this should carry over your voice through this microphone. So just to let you know how that will sound, I'll plug this in. Recording audio through headset is what my phone says. So you should be hearing the mic quality of this specific cable. Now, this is not too far down. It's sort of, right next to my collarbone. If you do think that it'll make a difference when you lift it closer to your mouth, this is what it'll sound like. So this should give you a good idea of whether or not you need to, have this microphone raised or lowered when you are gaming. So if you do plan on taking calls with this or gaming, this demo, I hope, should give you the clarity you need to make that decision. So I do hope that this demo has given you a better understanding, and I'll see you in the chapter about sound. These IEMs come with 10mm dynamic drivers, have a frequency response of 20 Hz all the way to 20 kHz, and have a fairly easy to drive low resistance of just 32 ohms. Now, this will vary depending on the kind of amp you're using, because this was very apparent when I was testing this. Now, I have I usually pair all the IEMs I test with the Roses Elsa RZ550 because that's the one DAC amp I have that has a 3.5 mm single-ended and a 4.4 balanced output. So I've usually listened to this or tested this with that. And the minute I went on over to the not the balanced. When I went on over to the USB-C variant, there was a drop in volume. So volume-wise, with this DAC amp, the RZ550, I'm listening to this anywhere between 25 to 30% volume. 30 might be a bit much. So 25 is quite all right. The big difference is when I plugged in the USB-C cable, because with that, to equal that of the RZ550, I had to crank it up to about 50% volume. So very clearly, the USB-C variant does not have a very good amp chip, and obviously not, because the RZ550 is exponentially more expensive. But then, of course, when you look at the other cables, there is a slight difference in the overall sound, as well as that little DAC amp that they've provided. That one, I don't think I had to crank it as much as the USB-C variant, maybe 35 to 40%, but it was still more than what I had to with the RZ550. But yeah, when it comes to the two cables in particular, there is a slight tonal shift in the sense the second you put on the balanced, things tend to sharpen up, things get tighter a lot in the detail, there's a lot more clarity with the balanced for certain, but there's a level of tightness in the bass that I think very few people would enjoy, because there's a lot of body that seems to go missing compared to the 3.5 mm variant cable. So I myself usually lean more towards the 4.4 balanced with many IEMs, but this is the first time I actually said, you know what, when I want to have fun, I'd rather use the 3.5 because the lower frequencies are a bit fuller. But again, like I did mention, if you do like a tighter bass response, not as much body, you can use the balanced and you will get that much more clarity. So moving on to the imaging, well, one thing I will say is these are terrifically technical. The fact that you're able to distinguish between each DAC amp and each cable shows how transparent these IEMs are. Usually this level of transparency with IEMs I've seen maybe with IEMs in the maybe 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 price range and beyond. But the fact that it's this transparent here is pretty impressive. I don't remember the previous gen being this specifically transparent. For that matter, I don't think the Delci as well is this transparent as the SV, which is quite impressive. So if you're looking for clarity, detail, all that sort of stuff, this does a very good job. Now, I usually don't talk about timbre in this price range, but one thing I will say is it tries to get there to absolute naturality and neutrality in terms of overall tonal balance, but things aren't really as true as they could be. And at the same time, I don't think it's fair to talk about timbre on a set of IEMs in this price range. It does, almost get there, but this is more, I think, a fun listen than anything else. I'm not really focusing too much on how true a piano or a guitar sound over here. They do get close to sounding pretty true. I mean, for the price range, I'd say this is pretty good. But again, if you are somebody who's looking for something that will match that of something in the 8 to 12,000 price range, it's not going to do that. But as itself, it does a very good job. And of course, when it comes to its soundstage, it's pretty similar to a lot of other IEMs in this price segment, or for that matter, in a slightly more expensive price range. It does have a slightly wide horizontal stage where it sticks a little out of the IEMs. And in some cases, I've noticed specifically when I listen to, forget about the mass market stuff, I'm talking about the jazz, blues stuff where these artists are obsessed with good recordings and good mixes. When you listen to really good recordings and mixes, it does have a slight vertical stage, so you hear instruments somewhere up towards your eyebrow line, which is quite impressive. And at the same time, when you use the balanced cable with those good recordings, it's better defined. It's a better stage and better imaging through that cable as well. And then moving on to its highs, mids, and lows. Well, these guys have definitely, I mean, I wouldn't really call it balanced. Maybe it's more balanced than it is Harman curve, but it sounds like they've followed some sort of Harman curve because there's an elevation on both ends. The bass is not flat. It does recede in the lower mids, the mid-mids to lower mids, but there is a significant accentuation in the upper mids and higher frequencies. So here's where it comes to the nozzles. Well, the normal nozzles that you get on this are the silver nozzles, and I really did enjoy this. It's surprisingly clean, crisp sounding, the highs. Vocals come through pretty naturally, I'd say. I mean, considering a lot of IEMs tend to pull away in the lower frequencies and make vocal sound nasal, This doesn't do that. It actually sounds a lot truer in a sense when you listen to vocals. Certain instruments in this upper range can tend to seem, I wouldn't say bright with the silver nozzle, but the minute you put on the gold nozzle, I think that has an accentuation, and the black one has, it's a little suppressed in the same region, and all these nozzles sort of tweak something in the upper mid-range more than anywhere else. There's not too much of a boost in other regions, but mainly in the upper mid region. So I think the gold one might have a tendency of sounding sibilant in some cases, but again, it depends on the recording you're listening to. So I've usually leaned towards the normal nozzles that come with this, because it's a nice in-between of that tuning. Instrument separation, vocal separation in the mid-range is pretty spectacular, especially again like for IEMs in this range. In fact, I've not done A/B testing with the previous gen clean, but something tells me that this pushes past how nice the clean sounded and pushes equal to or better than the Delchi, because this is definitely a very enjoyable set of IEMs with all the time I've spent with it. And then when you move on over to the lower frequencies, these definitely do a very good job of the lower frequencies. I think they've done a good job of maintaining the lows, in the sense not just the higher lows and mid lows, but the sub lows also well accentuated. This surprisingly did very well when my playlist skipped over to an EDM song. I didn't think that this would handle bass very well, but I actually continued listening to that EDM track just to test these out, and this is no slouch when it comes to the lower frequencies. If you are a major enthusiast when it comes to the lower frequencies, if you're a bass head, maybe this is not for you. I'd say this is better suited to somebody who's got a taste in much cleaner music than EDM. This IEM calls out more for very good recordings and very good mixes. So the minute you look at things from the 90s and early 2000s, I don't think you're going to do justice to these IEMs. You need to have a very good source. So if you've got your own FLAC files that are well recorded and mixed, if you've got access to high res, be it through Tidal or, Apple's all right. If you have access to these kind of things, I'd say that kind of genre of blues, jazz, vocals, choral, orchestral, that kind of stuff really does push through and shine with these. You need to have good access with these IEMs, and I don't think I've ever said that with IEMs very specifically in this price range. So to sum up, I think this is a spectacular little set of IEMs, because I genuinely didn't think we'd need a new clean or something in this range between that and the Delchi. Because the previous gen did come very close to how nice the Delchi sounded, but I think this can push past that. Now, the fit and finish wise, Kefine has always had top of the line finish. I love that I've never sort of handled a set of Kefine IEMs that are resin or plastic. They've always been this metal sort of enclosure. It feels premium. It looks premium. It really does sort of reward you every time you handle it, and it's a pride factor whenever you pick it up and say, hey, these are mine. So they've definitely nailed it with the overall fit and finish. And of course, yeah, when it comes to all the other stuff, that they do have the balance cable and the USB-C cable and the little DAC amp and whatever else. You do have options to buy this in various iterations, which is cool. Of course, I will leave all those links down below for you. Moving on to the price, if you do want to buy these, keep in mind you can buy to the 3.5 mm, you can buy to the 4.4 mm balanced, or you can buy to the USB-C variant that also has a microphone and volume control and mic and play pause and all that. So that's something to keep in mind. So the price does vary between 50 to 54 or 55 USD. So it depends again, like I said, on which one you want. Now, if you're buying it here in India, I think it's going for a slightly better price, believe it or not. So I will leave the prices up here for all of these and the links down below, of course, if you do want to buy these. But of course, I do hope that this review has given you a better understanding for these IEMs, and I do hope that it will help you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.